Thank you for staying tuned to Smart 24 Television, where of course we believe in smart business. It's not by chance that this show is called Smart Business. It's because at the end of the day we believe in ensuring that you at the end of the day must be smart. You must make sure that we have to make sure that you're able to get the necessary financial and business needs so that you can make the right financial business decisions. I'm usually not alone. In studio with me today, in Studio A here in Naguru, I'm with, of course, Anthea Ibembe. Anthea, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Jane.
Having a good day?
Yes.
Okay.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. And we're going to make it a good day for you, without a doubt. And right next to us, of course, in another part of our complex is none other than Hannah Mbago, who is in our Studio B this morning. And it's always a pleasure, Hannah. How are you?
I'm very well, Jane. How are you and Anthea this morning?
We're very good. We're very good, actually. With a nutshell, Anthea, just tell us, how was your evening yesterday?
The truth or the media version?
Just be diplomatic.
Well, it was great. I went out to eat with Hannah. We went to my favorite restaurant. I took
How much did you pay? Did you budget for that?
No,
because you know we're a business channel,
yeah,
and we believe in being smart businessmen and women, and we budget for everything that we do.
Yeah.
Did you budget?
Well, I had enough for it, but I can't say I looked into the decision to go to eat before. I was like, oh, let's go eat.
By impulsion.
By impulse.
Hannah, how was your evening?
It was great. It was lovely. It's always nice to connect with work colleagues. Should do it again sometime, Anthea. With you, madam, this time.
We certainly will get time. But of course, for those of you who are watching us, you can follow us on our social media platforms without a doubt. And of course, today we're going to be discussing in our market segment some important news about social media. You know, the world has changed. 5 years ago, social media was not in existence here in Uganda, and it wasn't the core of our fabric. However, today, life has indeed changed. If you're not part of social media, you lose out on a lot of things in the ways you do business, in modern life, yes, and of course, in basic communication. Social media has changed our lives, hasn't it?
It does. It has, because, you know, the average modern person these days, seeing as half of the world's population is on social media, yeah, one kind or another. So the average modern person, when they wake up in the morning, they do not check the daily paper. No, they check their social media.
They check their social media posts.
And they go through their day being influenced by social media inadvertently and even in ways they know. So it has changed the whole dynamic.
Okay, change of dynamic indeed. Hannah, if I can bring you in here. Social media in the last 5 years was not existent in Uganda. Today it is in East Africa as a whole, and it's a major part of life. You agree?
I really do agree, Jane. It's a major change. People now are living almost 60% of their lives online, and it has greatly diminished offline contact, as we will see later on today. So it has really impacted the global way of life. It
has really indeed impacted the global way of life and the way we do business. After the break, because we're going to be taking a short break shortly, but after the break, Anthea Ibembe and Hannah Mbago will be taking us through the rudimentaries of social media. And of course, Anthea, if I can bring you in here, yes, I want to know from you, there are people who are watching who perhaps are maybe be above the age of 50. They're asking, am I really relevant in social media today?
Oh, yes, everyone is. Everyone is accountable.
And how can they get adapted to social media as we speak? Well,
they've made it very friendly for all age groups. I mean, anybody from the age of, I think as low as 9 years,
yes,
to as old as, not so old, aged, to as aged as 78 can be able to be on social media. I mean, there's chat rooms for every age group, and you'll find your neighbor on, and you'd be surprised. And I think it's quite exciting. Most times when you introduce your grandparents to Skype, or they're very excited. So I think there's something for everyone on social media platforms. You just have to choose the right one.
You just have to choose the right one. And of course, Hannah, just before we bring you into the analysis per se on social media, do people make unbelievable amounts of money in East Africa on social media?
Well, the media is definitely now a medium to making money. I think most of the money making is still done offline, but the way people get to know about the products, you know, to raise awareness, people are really using the media as that particular channel, and that tends to be how people make the most money on social media.
Okay, so we have our entire social media team here with us in studio. We'll be going through and analyzing for you how you make money on social media, why it is important for you to be part of social media, the effects, both the pros and cons. We're going for a quick commercial break. Anthea Bembe and, of course, Hannah Mbago are still in studio with me. You're tuned in to Smart 24 Television, where we believe in smart business. staying tuned to Smart 24 Television, where, of course, we believe in smart business. I'm still not alone, joined by my co-hosts, Anke Bembe and Hannah Mbago.
Hello, hello, hello.
Be here in Naguru.
What are you doing? Oh, hello.
With me in Studio A. And what a day we're going to have for you. And for those of you who are watching at this particular moment, remember the sidebar, the lower third below us. It gives you all the necessary commodity prices and the necessary commodity rates. So of course, most importantly, it's important for us to take a look at our market segment, what we call the market analysis. Our market analysis today centers on social media. And if we take on social media, what do you think is so important about this?
Jane, I practically can't say anything bad about social media because I spend most of my life there. I think I've built my life on social media between work and trying to connect with friends who are and keeping it great. I'm always on social media if I'm not reading a book or working.
And it's a cheap mode of communication. It's
a data bundle that's very like downloading heavy stuff.
okay. So if I can bring Hannah here. Hannah, social media, like you can see on your screens, is pretty much people, young people today, also the elderly can make, of course, needed in order for them to at the end of the day that they're able, importantly, to ensure that they communicate If I can bring you in here, Anthea, your take, most importantly, on social, the main social media usages on your screen. What in order for someone to have social media of them?
I think in the modern age you need a smartphone, and if you don't have a smartphone, you can have a or computer that's mobile. You can download it because the whole essence of social media is to be mobile.
Okay.
It's to be quickly accessible. It's to be on the go. So if it's not like where we would come and check our mails once a week or something like that, so it's daily, instant, and every second.
It's permanent.
Yeah.
I want to know from you, Anthea. Let's break down, because it's smart business. Let's break down the amounts that are needed. How much is a good smartphone, like the one you're seeing on your screen?
A good smartphone, it depends on your particular uses for the smartphone. But if you want to just subscribe to the basic social media account, I think it starts from 250,000. From my experience, it starts from 250,000 going upward. Of course, they range up to now I think $1,500 or so.
Yeah.
But then it depends on your budget, but 250,000 and you're good to go.
And you're good to go. If I can bring Hannah in here, Hannah, once you bought your tablet or your social media gadget, what are the social media apps you should have on your phone?
Thank you, Jane. It seems that the ones that are most used today are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and WhatsApp, just to mention a few.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn as well.
And LinkedIn as well. Okay, shortly we're going to have a demonstration. What we want you to do, Hannah, is use a screen that's right next to you so that you can show us the various types that are pretty much needed. And what you're seeing on your screen right now is, of course, a phone, a tablet, a phone, what you call a smartphone. And those smartphones are where you can access social media. So, Hannah, you have the screen right in front of you. Kindly take us through some of the major items that you can currently see on your screen as we speak. So, Hannah, take us through.
Thank you, Jane. To my left, I will be showing you really quickly Twitter and how people can work around it and use it to promote their business. Particularly today, we will be looking at the Smart Business page on Twitter. As you can see, it's here and it looks really good. We have 6,241 followers, and every day we are using this platform to inform our viewers and our followers of the different programs that we have and the different news that they need to tune in and be aware of.
So Hannah,
as
just
you can see,
tell us again, what is a Twitter handle?
a Twitter handle is the name that you use on Twitter. That's how people can find you. For example, here our handle at Smart Business is at S24TV_. So
Okay.
if people want to get in touch with us on our social media platform, that's the handle that they would need to use to get in touch with us.
Okay, so Hannah, just take us through perhaps the followers. How do you use how do you use Twitter, and how do you become an effective Twitter user?
Well, it's very simple and straightforward to open a Twitter account. You just go on to twitter.com, and then if you don't have an account, you click on sign up and you follow those instructions. They're very straightforward: your name, your birth date, your email address, because they need to verify that you're an actual person and not an automated robot. And so then after, you will get to have your own Twitter account.
Okay, so
You can follow the pages that interest you, such as lifestyle, fashion, business, and the like, and people can follow you back.
Hannah, how important is it for one to get a social media handle? How important is it for people today to be part of Twitter?
Well, Jane, I do believe that it is very important in the modern world of today to be connected online, because everyone is online and all the businesses are online, and so you do need to be connected in order to network and be in the know about the news of today. Yes.
Anthea, if I can bring you in here. Anthea, are you on Twitter?
Yes, I am.
And have you found it an effective communication tool?
The thing about Twitter, if you're not a public figure in most cases, you may not get as much following, unlike Facebook, because Facebook is more connective. They connect you with your friends. On Twitter, I found people are a bit mean with the following and the likes.
Yeah.
But I have a decent 380 followers, but that's pretty low for someone who has been on Twitter for I think 4 years.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I'd say something on Twitter and be listened to. On the contrary, if you're a public figure and you say something on Twitter, like Donald Trump, he's made Twitter really, really famous ever since his campaigns in 2015. If you're a public figure and you say something on Twitter, it can be held against you for life.
And you can actually start dictating the course of action for your country, and perhaps even set the agenda in the media. Hannah, let's go over to the President of the United States, Donald Trump's Twitter page.
Right.
And then thereafter, we shall also go onto the Twitter page of the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Okay, so Hannah's taking us through right to Donald Trump's Twitter page. And why we're going to Donald Trump's Twitter page, like Anthea said, it's very important at the end of the day, most importantly, to ensure that we see the manners in which a person who is a renowned person tweets, because I think that's why people follow him so much. Yes, just tell us a bit about perhaps how he tweets.
I mean, he's very reactionary.
Yeah.
Anything he's told, he's very quick to bite back. I don't mean to sound partisan or anything, but he's a bit radical. I think that's why a lot of people enjoy his tweets, and he really utilizes his 280 characters.
Yeah.
Given only 280 characters per tweet, he utilizes his 280 characters to really arc his opponents or the Democrats. So I think he's someone, of all the presidents in my lifetime that I have followed, Donald Trump is the most controversial, and Twitter has really given him the platform for this, because you can't put out press releases saying the things he says, so he takes it to his personal account.
Okay, so let's take a look at Donald Trump's Twitter page. I know, Hannah, you have it opened right now. Hannah is in our Studio B this morning. Our Studio B is what we call our IT studio. So, Hannah, take us through how many followers does he have, and who does he follow, and what has been his last tweet?
Okay, as we can see here, he has 57 million followers, which is
quite a lot, right?
Following, yes, Jane, and he only follows 45 people. I'm very curious to know which 45.
Can we see the 45 that he follows?
Okay.
Yeah, because actually that's quite important, because people try to find out who is it that you're following, because it gives people an idea of what kind of a character you might be. So, Hannah, who is he following this morning?
Unfortunately, Jane, I'm not able to get you his followers, but I
Yeah.
We'll follow up on that on our next show.
Okay, so Hannah, just take us through the tweets. What is his last tweet?
His last tweet says, "Endless wars, especially those which are fought out of judgment mistakes that were made many years ago, and those that we are getting little financial or military help from the rich countries that so greatly benefit from what we are doing, will eventually come to a glorious end."
So,
that was made
yeah.
this morning.
This morning, and of course made on 8th of January. So Hannah, just tell us how many likes, because that's always very important. How many likes someone has, how many times it's been retweeted, and how many times someone has commented on that.
And okay, he has 15.1 thousand comments, 14.5 thousand retweets, and 58.5 thousand likes on that particular tweet.
Very interesting indeed, Hannah. Anthony, if I can bring you in here, 58,000 likes from just one comment. The power of social media.
The power. He's so connected. I told you, when you're a public figure, it brings me back to my point. Everybody is watching out for your tweet. They're watching because they want to know what you said, and they know that on social media you won't be probably regulated by your publicist, or so everyone is always eager. Particularly Donald Trump. I think that particular tweet is to do with the federal government wanted to shut down.
Yes.
So that's what he's attacking, and because the Democrats one side, the Republicans one side. So he's attacking the feud between them that they didn't know they didn't know the background of, and they just fought and dived into. Although that brings me again to my point.
Yeah.
If you're going to be on social media, particularly platforms like Twitter, you really have to filter out what content you subscribe to, because many a time you'll find that you're subscribing to content that doesn't build you.
Yeah.
And that's not smart business.
Yeah. so who should we be following on Twitter, perhaps?
Of course, for some enjoyment, you can follow Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Personally, I follow Barack Obama, Michelle. I follow Bloomberg. I follow CNN. I follow Fox News, NBC, a lot of poets, writers, young writers, entrepreneurs, because you always want to know what the creatives are doing. And it's always good to follow people who have a very great following, and then also a few people who don't have a great following but with good content.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to keep it with the African poets. There's the Chimamanda Ngozi, Upile Chisala, Rupi Kaur, although she's Indian. So I follow those ones, and then also the bigger ones, because you want to know what's happening in the world. Because, for example, on CNN's Twitter, when something breaks up, they have it there immediately in
real time.
You know it. Yeah.
Okay, so Hannah, just take us over to the president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's Twitter page and what it looks like this morning.
All right, Jane, I'll just get that for you. Right.
And of course, Hannah is joining us in our studio, our Studio B, which is our IT studio. We have usually all the necessary IT gadgets there. And of course, Hannah's going to be taking us through, as we speak at this particular moment, what most of you will be tweeting about and what notable personalities are tweeting about this morning. Anthony, if I can bring you in here, how can you get your tweets to be noticed?
Well, it has to be interesting, because Twitter is all about, it's like a tabloid,
yes,
in my opinion. You have to say something that catches somebody's opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, let me like this. They laugh and they're like, let me retweet. And then if you're going to be an activist, probably use very effective language.
Yeah.
Speaking, not metaphors as per se, but speak in a way that infects the people, in that somebody can't just pass by your tweets.
Yes.
Because there's people who use Twitter actually for activism
and be informed. How important is it for you to be informed on Twitter?
It's quite informed, because people on Twitter, you'd be surprised. The generation on Twitter is very informed. So you'll say something that's slightly unfactual, and then they'll fire at you and disqualify everything. And I can tell you something, it's quite bad for your esteem when you're lashed out back on Twitter, and on Twitter they mainly focus on the negatives.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of critics. So if you're going to post on Twitter, be factually correct. Use language that will affect, so that you can capture attention, and I believe, use the fewest words because they give you only 280 characters.
They give you only, and that's another thing, they give you only 280 characters for you to make your tweet. So you have to be short, smart, and sweet. And on top of that, you have to make sure that your videos, the videos cannot be more than 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, they cut it.
They cut it, so it has to fit within 30 seconds. Hannah, if I can bring you in here, let's take a look at the President of the Republic of Uganda. What's on his Twitter page this morning?
Thanks, Jane. Right here behind me, I have President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's Twitter page, and he has 940.9 thousand followers. He's following 20 people, and his last tweet was made on the 4th of January, and he was talking about his cows on his Chisozi ranch. It says, "The old man with the hat," that's this gentleman right here, "has this afternoon concluded supervision of the biannual exercise of deworming our cows. This 3-day exercise was at my Chisozi ranch in Gomba district." And you can see him there with his lovely wife.
Okay, and what else before that? Before the 4th of January, what had he posted on Twitter?
On his last tweet before that was made on the 1st of the year, that's January 1st, and it said, "We shall continue building capacity to foster functional literacy among our people whose education levels may be low, or those who are getting disoriented by some elements in this fight against poverty." And you can see him there with the bishop and his wife, and he had attended the first service of the year in this church right here.
Okay, so that's very informative indeed. And if I can bring you in here, Anthea, how important is it for leaders now to start making their agendas on social media?
I think it's
Is it advisable?
Yeah, it
or
is.
has the world just changed?
No, it is advisable. I'd say it is because they go as far as hiring publicists and PR managers to kind of regulate and could understand better the dynamics of social media, and they control these pages for them. Personally, I know that very few public figures, including our president himself, tweets for themselves. So they need people who can appeal to the public, know exactly what to say. And it's important, to answer your question, it's important because that's where you're going to find most of the youth.
Okay, that's where you're going to find most of the youth. Right now, of course, you can see the tweets as and when they're coming in right here on your screens. But Hannah, if I can come back over to you, most importantly, who has the most Twitter followers on Twitter? Do you know that?
Well,
Or can you give us an idea, perhaps? Might it be an entertainer? Might it be a politician?
Well, I think it would definitely be entertaining.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Selena Gomez, I think.
Yes.
And one of the Kardashian girls, the model Kendall. Yeah, and I think Mark Zuckerberg has the biggest following, I think, on Facebook.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Hannah, if I can bring you in here, for example, if you have 1 million followers on Twitter, are you approached by advertisers? Is it a way for you to make money?
I do think that is a possibility, Jane. I'm not very sure on it as at this moment, but the more followers you have online, the more attractive you are to name brands, because they do want to have a chance to promote their product. Because like I said before, the media is now the main means of product promotion, and that is how people become aware of products out there and get a chance to buy.
Okay, get a chance to buy it, indeed. And we're seeing a change, of course. Politicians now, in real time, are starting to tweet. Whatever happens, they're tweeting in real time. How important is that, Anthea?
I think it's quite important. Because
Has it changed again? Because before, you know, before how it used to be is something happens and then a press release is outed. You have to wait for the press to come. But now in real time, it's changed the world.
Yeah, it has, because it humanizes them.
Yeah.
It does humanize them. You know, when somebody is behind a newspaper and then a reporter is saying, Jane said, it's different than when he comes out and he's like, "I'm deeply sorry for the landslides that happened in Bududa." In real time, you know. It humanizes them towards their constituencies. And I think it's also changed the game of politics in a way. Because if people, you know, the thing about social media, you can scroll through somebody's page and you're able to get a feel of their character, what they stand for, their values and everything. So if people can connect with you, I think they're more likely to vote for you.
Yeah, that's a good tip. If people can connect with you, it's so much better for them and much easier for them to see your humanity and perhaps also to start following you too. Hannah, if I can bring you in here, what are the disadvantages of Twitter? I mean, we've seen the wonders that Twitter can have on someone's life, but what are the disadvantages of Twitter
Well, there are many disadvantages, and this is not just for Twitter. But
No, I just want Twitter as just Twitter for now.
Just Twitter. Okay.
Yes.
Well, the main ones include cyberbullying and loss of reputation.
When we're talking about cyberbullying, just take us through that.
Well, there's so many ways that someone can connect online and be anonymous. So he or she has the freedom to say whatever they wish, to break down another person without people knowing who they are. And this can ruin a person's reputation, you know, attack their self-esteem. There have been so many cases of people falling into depression because they're being attacked on social media. And this is just one of the disadvantages.
That's one of the disadvantages. What else? You know what I find very disadvantageous, Anthea, is the fact that you have to fit in your thoughts in a matter of 200 words. Very difficult.
I think
how do you manage to tweet successfully without going on and on and on? It's very hard.
personally, I've learned to you learn to minimize your words.
You abbreviate.
Yeah, you abbreviate and you just summarize your points. I think it also gives you a little value for word language minimization, you know.
Yeah.
And to answer your question on disadvantages of Twitter, in particular, I think a lot of people go on there to spend a lot of time. You know, Twitter is the most addictive of the social medias I have subscribed to.
Okay.
I subscribe to Facebook and I go to Instagram, I go there once in a while, but Twitter, because there's so much content and so much
In real time.
Yeah.
So special thank you to Hannah Mbago and of course Anthea Bembe. We're going for a quick commercial break. We're going for the news updates. After the break, we'll be back with the effects of social media, with the effects of Instagram, Facebook, the big one, Facebook, and so many others. You're tuned into Smart 24 Television, where we believe in smart business, and we're going to also show you how to make money smart online. Thank you for staying tuned to Smart 24 Television, where of course we believe in smart business. It's not by chance that this show is called Smart Business. We believe in ensuring that you get the necessary financial information that is smart so that you can make smart decisions. Right next to me, of course, is Anthea Bembe, and right next to Anthea, of course, in our other studio, in our adjacent studio, is Hannah Mbago. Our IT studio, which we call our IT center, happens to be in Naguru, and it's on in our studio B. So Hannah, most importantly, I know we've been going through social media. We've been talking about, first of all, Twitter and its effects of Twitter and how you can make money from Twitter. But most importantly now, if I can bring you over, Hannah, Anthony and I would like to know, Facebook is a big animal. So tell us a bit about Facebook, how you can join, and how you can make money from Facebook.
Thank you, Jane. Well, Facebook is considered by some to be the mother of social media because it was the first giant, so to speak, to introduce the concept of social media and how people can connect with friends and family. And eventually businesses caught on to the idea, and now it is one of the biggest platforms on the globe for product promotion. And I'll just take you really quickly, if you do not have a Facebook account and you want to open one, you can go to facebook.com and you can follow the steps. They're very simple. Your age, your birth date if you wish, your email address, again, so they can make sure that it's not an automated account, because very many people are making automated accounts, and those are the ones that, you know, cause hacking and those bad sides to social media. But this is our social media page, Facebook
that's your
page.
Facebook page,
Yes, for H24.
Okay, so Hannah, just take us through it. Just scroll down. How many people are following us on Facebook?
Well,
I know it's over 6,000.
yes,
so
we do have over 6,000 followers.
yes.
It does not show here on this page, but yes, we do have over 6,000 followers at the moment, Jane.
Okay, so just take us down. How does someone use Facebook, and how can we make money? How can we make a return on investment on Facebook?
Well, once you open your Facebook page, you have an empty bar, so to speak, and that's where you can post your status or a video or a link to another, you know, page, and that's how you can connect. Because the people that follow you and the people can see those updates, and then they know what's going on in your life according to what you choose to upload. So on our page, this is S24's page, and it is a business page. So you can see right here we've posted our Nakasero market prices for
yes.
the morning, updating our followers and our viewers, and they can see our photos, they can look at related pages, and right here you can see 40 minutes ago we just informed them that we were live. So if you are on Facebook, you might have known that our program is live now, and you know, it would have informed our viewers to tune in. And yeah.
So Hannah, I want to know,
Jane, just to elucidate on what Hannah said, when you want to make a business on Facebook, when you sign up, you have the opportunity to choose what type of page you have. So if you're a business person, you can say your page is a business page, and then they'll give you there's different types of pages you can have, and then they even have as Hannah had said, on ways to publicize. They have offers where you pay up to $10 a month or a week or a day. It's a day, $10 a day, and they advertise for you on pages of people whose algorithms could seem whose algorithms show that they're interested in your product. So probably if somebody, let's say for example, you're selling wigs or wigs, and a particular account has been liking a lot of wig pages.
So they take notice of you.
Using algorithms and a lot of computerized mathematics, they will bring that ad on her page, so she'll be able to know, and it will say sponsored. So I think that's how they advertise on Facebook.
Okay, so Hannah, so we've seen how you can make money on Facebook. Tell us some of the disadvantages with Facebook.
Well, Jane, there are many disadvantages with Facebook, you know, addiction, cyberbullying, like as I said before with Twitter, and there is hacking. So many accounts tend to be hacked nowadays, even though, you know, there is the option to update your password. So it's advisable that at least every 3 months or every month that you update your password so you can avoid that, so that you can avoid hacking.
Okay.
And also,
go ahead.
Yeah, there's a loss of reputation. Sometimes people don't know what to post and they can ruin their business in just one post. But on the other hand, there's also the option to build your business or your brand with the correct form of advertising. So it really is a 50-50 kind of deal with social media. It can go either way, but if you stay on the safe side, if you stay on the smart side, you will enjoy the benefits.
I like that. When you stay on the smart side, you can always enjoy the benefits. That's well said, Hannah. If I can bring you in here, Anthea. Of course, lots of effects on social media. It takes up a lot of people's time, especially Facebook.
Yeah. Personally, I
Addictions on Facebook.
I had to leave Facebook because I was facing not cyberbullying as per se, but from my personal experience, it would be stalking.
Yeah.
And there's no way to control that because you have a lot of strangers from different continents because everybody from anywhere in the world can access your page.
So now everybody can communicate with you in real time.
If at all, it's public anyway.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to make my page private, and at that time I was a bit younger, so I didn't know better, so I just decided to let go of it. But there's something that I think we need to take note of on Facebook in particular, on the disadvantages, as Hannah had said, is that Facebook has been in a very big role with the federal government of the US for selling personal information. So that's also another reason why I left Facebook. You can't be sure that your very personal information, which they say is passworded, hasn't been sold off to the FBI and Netflix or Spotify. Those are the places so they claim it's been selling to. So I wasn't very sure of my safety, and I think a lot of people are also very questioning right now, and that's the biggest challenge I face with Facebook.
So that's what you're seeing right now. You can see how people are addicted to social media. Most of them do transact social media activities using their smartphones or their tablets, and it's pretty much all around the world. So you can find those two gentlemen, let's say they're in Kawempe, those two gentlemen might be clicking on and connecting with someone who's in New York City. And that's the same with that lady. She might be Googling away and connecting with somebody who is in Scandinavia. Hannah, if I can bring you in here, let's go to our next biggest social media app. And I think it's Instagram, isn't it?
Yes,
my favorite.
Okay. And what is so special about Instagram?
The thing that makes Instagram stand out is that it's more about images.
Yes.
It's all about images and videos, as opposed to Facebook and Twitter being all about, texts and words that you can also attach photos and videos, but Instagram was the pioneer app that, introduced a way to post to your friends and family and, for businesses as well through visual media.
Yeah.
So it is a very influential app, and as I know, it was bought by Facebook. So now it is by Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
So now it's a big way for companies to advertise their products. And as you can see here behind me, I have Rihanna's page on Instagram, and I'm just going to show you how she chooses to advertise her products.
How many followers, Hannah?
Rihanna has 66.7 million followers as of this morning.
As of this morning.
Yes.
And what is the value of that page for a smart businessman and smart businesswoman? Is it valued at millions?
It is valued at millions because whatever she posts will be sent to these 66.7 million followers. And so, it's very attractive for someone with such a huge following such as this. You become attractive to name brands who will pay you to post their content because they know that you have a really, really huge following. So whatever they give you to post is beneficial to them as far as advertising goes. And so Rihanna has been using her own following to advertise her own products, which is cosmetics, as I will show you right now.
And let me ask you a question. So the more you post, the more interesting your page becomes.
Yes.
So you have to be very active.
Yes, that's true. But I think it's also a huge factor is, your social media presence. And not just your social media presence, but how famous you are on the globe, just, besides your social media. There are some people who are Instagram famous, as so to speak, and, they have that. But Rihanna is famous not just on Instagram, not just on social media, but in many, many aspects. And so that's why she has such a huge following. And as you can see here, She's been using her page a lot to advertise her products. This is some of the lipstick, you know, and she recently brought out a new line of lingerie. It's called Savage X Fenty. So as you can see, there's so many instances of that. This is the lingerie, that's the cosmetics.
And Hannah, is it advisable perhaps if you get like 66 million followers, that is more than any, I mean, that's a whole country. That's more than the population of Uganda. Is it advisable to have professionals manage your page?
Yes, I think at some point it is advisable for you to be managed, but at the end of the day, it is up to you, because you need to make sure that you post the right content, because as I said before, it's very easy for someone to misinterpret what you post or post a false story, and there goes your reputation. You know, it takes a long time to build it up, but seconds in the media to ruin it.
To be destroyed, yeah.
Yeah, so it is important to consider being managed when you reach a certain level of being famous.
Okay, so Hannah, let's go to the fourth and final app, social media app, which is the corporate app, LinkedIn.
Yes.
Now take us through LinkedIn, yeah.
This is LinkedIn, and this is your page, Jane.
Ah, you managed to get it. Okay, great.
Yes, so I think maybe you can tell us more about this than I could.
No, I think if you scroll down, that's my LinkedIn page.
Right.
Yeah, and if you scroll down, it clearly shows you at the end of the day, it first describes you and what it is that you do, and pretty much your qualifications, and then the people you're connected to.
Yes.
And then most importantly, at the end of the day, you're able to connect to other corporate people in real time and also share your posts. And LinkedIn is not about, it's about love, you know these apps about love and whatever, meeting people. It's not that kind of site. It's a corporate site that links corporate people to do business. Are you on LinkedIn, Anthea?
I want to join.
You want to join, you know? Yeah. You meet a lot of people from around the world, and you meet a lot of people, a lot of corporate people. You do a lot of advertising. You make, it's a networking site. A business networking site, and it's quite important. Hannah, your take on LinkedIn and how important it is to have a LinkedIn page?
I do think it's very important to have a LinkedIn page as far as networking goes, especially for the business area and the business industry. You do need to network with other businesses that are within your, scope, and other businesses that are diversified apart from you. People on different levels, people who are just starting out and people who've made it, already and are successful, so that you can connect to the right people and grow your business or help another business to grow. And Jane, I'd also like to talk about YouTube just very briefly, as well as LinkedIn. It is another platform, which is a huge social media platform. It's mainly focused on videos, and people can post their own videos, and the number of viewers you get can bring you money. But it's very tricky to get money on YouTube, because you have to advertise for other companies, and that's how you make money. So if somebody has a huge following, then they will be approached by business companies, which then will have links to they'll have links before you can view the video, those 5-second ads that you can choose to click on. So if somebody clicks on that ad and watches for 30 seconds, then the owner of the page gets paid.
Okay.
But otherwise, you don't get any money. If you remember the huge hit Gangnam Style, which made almost 1 billion views. It was, I think, more than 900 million views. He didn't make that much money. He only made $870,000 for all those views. But so the main way of making money on YouTube is the advertising. It's $1 per 25 views.
Okay, that's very well said. And Anthony, before we take a break, how has social media affected our lives? Negatively.
Well,
I mean, when you go to the dinner table these days, I mean, nobody's ever talking to each other. Nobody's ever having a conversation. Everybody's on there doing something to do with social media.
True. I honestly think they say it's to connect us, but it's disconnected us.
Yeah.
We're better off talking to people farther away from us than the people near us.
Yes.
And I think that affects how we perceive social problems.
Yes.
We tend to think, oh, that's none of my business. I'll just keep talking to this person wherever they are.
Yeah.
I think it diverts our attention from what truly matters to to what the media makes it seem like matters.
Okay.
Because you find that because you're reading news about what's happening in Syria or Iran or Afghanistan, you're more inclined to care about Afghanistan. But then again, you have landslides in Bududa.
That's true.
You have
So there's a disconnect.
There's a disconnect, and it's also a disconnect from the people right next to us. I'll testify that I've seen so many instances where friends go out to hang out, and those days it would be, oh, let's play a game of cards, let's play Scrabble, or 30 seconds, or charades. But now it's just like, oh yeah, you were saying. Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah.
So it's that sort of thing, and you can't stop people because, that's the intended effect.
Okay, and of course, Hannah, if I can bring you in here, most importantly, Hannah, I just want to know from you, very importantly, social media, of course, has changed the way in which we do business, has changed the way in which we do life. I mean, do you think it will ever go away?
No, Jane.
It's here to stay.
Social media is here to stay. I couldn't have said it better myself. It is a permanent thing. If anything, I think our lives are going to be even more integrated to social media as we progress in future.
And of course, let's talk about one of the negatives before we go for a break. The issue of fake news. How do you determine something being fake and something not being fake?
Well, that is a huge problem in the world of today. It's very difficult to know what is true and what is not. My personal recommendation would be to go to the very sites that are trusted and that have been providing news for years and years, the huge name brands. To mention a few, those ones that are trusted, like BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, and Smart 24. I should have started with that one. we know that we will provide you with correct news. Stay off the tabloids, stay off the blogs, because they're not always reliable.
Yes.
But if you stick to the right news pages, to the smart ones, like Smart 24, you are sure to get the right news and not the fake news. And that's just some of the problems. There's so many other problems, such as health issues. People are staring at their screens all day and they get eye issues. People are looking at these challenges, the Malware challenges. So many of these things have caused deaths.
And not only that, people don't know that the fact that our postures have changed, because so many people have their iPads or they have their smartphones, so their heads are always tilting like this. And it's very bad for the base of your neck. You're aware.
Yeah.
And it's very bad for your spine as well, and your whole vertebrae. But most importantly, as we part, before we take a break, we know that news breaks all the time, and now on social media we have reports that there's a fire in Mabira Forest. True or false, Hannah?
It's true. Well, we can't confirm because again, to add into what Hannah said, we got it on a chat room in WhatsApp, so we can't be sure. There's no. And another thing, Jane, I think we left out is that it's best. As Hannah said, most of these pages, if you want to know that a page is true, because you'll find a lot of probably Smart 24s or a lot of CNNs or BBCs, but if you want to know that a page is true, you'll see a blue star right next to it, and that's its verification.
So that's a picture that we're getting right now.
Yeah.
So you got it from a WhatsApp chat room, and apparently they're saying, and word is getting, and we've sent a crew there, that there is a fire in Mabira Forest. And where could this fire emanate from, do you think?
I think the the sugarcane burning in the near the forest. There's a sugarcane plantation. I think it's Madivani, and there's a lot of works going on to refine the sugarcane into sugar. So they usually burn it near the forest. That could have been one thing. Another common cause of forest fires near Mabira in particular is the charcoal burning, and probably a campfire could have been left and then it spread into a wildfire.
Okay, so there you have it. Of course, if you can see that picture just coming in to us from one of the WhatsApp groups, and like we said in social media, everything is absolutely fluid. So immediately you get a post like that, you have to verify whether it's true or whether it's false. When was that picture taken, and for what reason did a person post it? And that's one of the biggest and most difficult parts of social media, the fact that you must verify your information.
So
it's unregulated.
Your own filter.
So you have to be your own regulator, you have to be your own filter, and you have to sense out whether it's true and whether it's false. So we're going for a quick commercial break. The rest of the show continues. Hannah Mbago is still in Studio B. Anthea Ibemba is in Studio A with me. We'll be right back. Anthony Mbembe and myself were enjoying the theme song to this show, Smart Business. The station is Smart 24. And we believe that you need to imbibe financial information. It's not about looking great like the way Anthony and myself do. It's about imbibing information and ensuring that you're able to make the necessary business choices that are important for you at the end of the day to ensure that you're able to make the correct decisions for your future. The squeeze box, the lower third, is right below us, and of course you should follow it. It's got all the necessary prices. Right now, the commodity prices, market prices from Kalewe, from Owino, from Nakawa, and you can get an idea of what the prices are currently this morning, be it posho, be it tilapia, be it kobil. Right now we're on the fuel prices as well, changing in real time on your real life channel, Smart 24 television. Anthony Mbembe is with me, and of course Hannah Mbago. But ladies, we have to take a look at the commodity prices, the market prices, the trading prices this morning, because that's important to us as a business channel. Anthea, your take most importantly on how important it is for people to know the right prices before they go to shop.
Well, as we always say, it's smart to plan.
That's right.
So usually you find, Miss Jane, when we're giving the market prices, we do comparisons. We don't do those comparisons for no reason. We want to help you see the difference in prices so that you can know where to go. Which one is more favorable for you? Which market is more favorable for you in terms of price and proximity? One may be cheap, but yet it's far, and so you spend a lot on transport. So we just try to give you 3 markets, and then you can plan. You're like, if I'm going to do wholesale, I'd rather invest in a little more transport than to buy the products at less. If I'm going to do retail, very small shopping, I'd rather go nearer and buy it at a slightly higher price, but then I don't spend a lot on transport. So we do this for you to plan.
To plan. You know what we always say, failure to plan is failure to succeed. So let's take a quick look at the commodity prices and market prices right now that are going to be on your screens. I know we're going to be taking you through some of the markets. I will start with Nakawa market. The current prices of matoke is 30,000 Uganda shillings, remaining constant at that rate. Exotic chicken remaining 13,000 Uganda shillings, and local chicken being 24,000 Uganda shillings this morning. Exotic eggs at 10,500 Uganda shillings. Local eggs at 30,000 Uganda shillings. Turkey this morning dropping to 70,000 Uganda shillings. Remember, last week it was up by over 15,000 Uganda shillings to 85,000. Tilapia at 20,000 Uganda shillings. Meat this morning at 11,000 Uganda shillings, and processed honey at 15,000 Uganda shillings. And I know we have so many viewers from the East African region. That's why we try to be as East African as possible. But before we bring in Hannah here, let me take you over to Anthea. Your take.
Mwebale nnyo kati akatale ke Nakawa amatooke ga mitwalo 3 enkota y'amatooke, enkoko enzungu ya mutwalo gumu n'enkumi 3, enkoko enganda ya mitwalo 2 n'enkumi 4. Olaba nga waliwo difference ennene ya kumpi mutwalo n'olukumi. Amagi amazungu ga etre egendera ku mutwalo n'ebitaano. Amagi amaganda etre ya mitwalo 3. Waliwo difference ya mitwalo 2 awo. So oweyingana olaba kyonna ekikukolera. Woba oyagadde taki ya mitwalo 7, ate tilapia, ekyennyanja kya tilapia kya mitwalo 2. Kilo y'ennyama era esigadde yo tetera kukyuka, esigadde ku mutwalo gumu n'olukumi, ate omubisi oguli process gwa mutwalo gumu kitundu.
So Hannah, because in the sake of the African spirit, East African spirit, let's have your take for our Kiswahili viewers.
Asante sana Jane. Soko la Nakawa asubuhi ya leo linauza matoke kwa 30,000, kuku wa kisasa kwa 13,000, kuku wa kienyeji kwa shilingi 24,000, mayai ya kisasa kwa shilingi 10,500 za Kiganda, na mayai ya kienyeji kwa shilingi 30,000 kwa tray moja. Bata mzinga wanauzwa shilingi 70,000, ambayo hiyo bei imeshuka kutoka kwa 90,000 ya jana. Samaki wa tilapia wanauza shilingi 20,000, Nyama ya ng'ombe inauzwa shilingi 11,000 kwa kilo moja, na asali ambayo iko processed inauzwa shilingi 15,000 tu.
Haya, asante sana mama. And now let's go on to our next market this morning, and of course we try to get you the latest in all the market prices. So this is our next market, Owino Market. Matoke is at a low of 25,000 Uganda shillings. It's dropping by 2,000 from yesterday when it was around about 27,000 Uganda shillings. Exotic chicken this morning at 11,000 Uganda shillings. Local chicken at 25,000 Uganda shillings. Exotic eggs at 9,500 Uganda shillings. Local eggs at 18,000 Uganda shillings. Turkey at 90,000 Uganda shillings. You can see a high there. It keeps on going higher at Owino Market, an increase of over 20,000 Uganda shillings, because yesterday it was at 70,000 Uganda shillings. Nakao Market taking it at 70,000 Uganda shillings this morning. But tilapia in Owino Market is 15,000 Uganda shillings. Meat at 12,000 Uganda shillings, and honey this morning at 15,000 Uganda shillings. That's locally made honey from Uganda. And Anthea, if I can bring you in here.
Wetugendako mu katale k'Owino nze ndaba ke kasinga okubeera affordable. Enkota y'amatu ya mitwalo 2.5 eri akatale akasoose tulabye nga ebadde ya mitwalo 3. Enkoko enzungu ya mutwalo 1,110. Enkoko enganda ya mitwalo 2.5 ate ne wano ekendedde mu 15,000. Amagi amazungu etre egendera ku 9,500 ne wano gakendedde mu 10,000. Amagi amaganda go gakyali nga bagaseeramuko ga mitwalo 8,000. Taki yeyongeddeko okuva mu kali akatale ya mitwalo 9, ate ekyennyanja ekya tilapia kisigadde kyekimu kya mutwalo 1.5. Omubisi oguli processed gwa mutwalo 1.5 gusigadde kyekimu, naye kilo y'ennyama yeyongeddemu 10,000 ya mutwalo 1,200.
Well, nnyo Anthea, kakati habari hana enda mbele, tunataka kuona prices hizo.
Sawa, asante sana. Katika soko la Owino asubuhi hii matoke yanauzwa shilingi 25,000 tu, ambayo ni bei iliyo chini zaidi kuliko soko la Nakawa. Pia mayai na kuku ni bei nafuu zaidi kuliko soko la Nakawa. Kuku wa kisasa wanauzwa shilingi 11,000, kuku wa kienyeji wanauzwa shilingi 25,000 za Kiganda. Mayai ya kisasa yanauzwa shilingi 9,500 na mayai ya kienyeji yanauzwa shilingi 18,000 tu. Kwa hiyo kama unataka kununua mayai na kuku, lazima uende Owino leo ununue mayai yako na kuku, maana ni bei poa kabisa. Bata mzinga ni ghali kwa leo, wanauzwa shilingi 90,000. Samaki wa tilapia wanauzwa shilingi 15,000. Nyama ya ng'ombe pia imepanda kidogo kwenye soko la Owino, ni 12,000 na asali inauzwa shilingi 15,000 za Kiganda.
Okay, asante sana Hannah. I know we have one of our last markets this morning because we try to get you a bird's eye view of all the latest markets, and that one is a big market, Nakasero Market, and we show you the prices earlier on. It's steadily rising, 35,000 Uganda shillings for the matoke. Matoke, remember, at Owino was slightly less, and then at Nakawa it was 25,000 Uganda shillings. Nakawa having the best price for matoke this morning. So if you need to make some lunch or you need to make some dinner for the family, this is the place you have to check out. That's Nakawa Market. It had the least rate, that was 25,000 Uganda shillings. But Nakasero this morning at 35,000 Uganda shillings is what matoke stands at this particular moment. Exotic chicken is at 13,000 Uganda shillings. Local chickens at 30,000 Uganda shillings, quite steep. Exotic eggs 10,000 Uganda shillings. Local eggs at 25,000 Uganda shillings. Turkey, the highest of the 4 markets, that is at 85,000 Uganda shillings. Tilapia at 15,000 Uganda shillings. Processed honey, cheap, cheaper than the rest. All were standing at 15,000 Uganda shillings, but at Nakasero Market you can find it at a cool 12,000 Uganda shillings. And meat this morning at 10,000 Uganda shillings.
Chibala akatale ke Nakasero kankakuleetere amatoke enkota egendera ku mitwalo 3.5, enkoko ey'enzungu ya mutwalo 1,300, enkoko enganda ya mitwalo 3, amagi amazungu ga etre ogigulira ku mutwalo 1, naye yeyo price really jogiraba anywhere. Amagi amaganda ga mitwalo 2.5 gakendeddemuko honestly mukana akatale mwendabye nga gasinga okuba akatono. Etaki ya mitwalo 8.5, ekyennyanja ekya tilapia kya mutwalo 1.5, hani ali processed ngera mukwano gwange gwagambye mu luzungu akendeddemu wano wasinga okubeera ki kubanga bamuguza ku mutwalo gumu enkumi bbiri ate kilo y'ennyama again eri ku its all time lowest mu butale bwe tulabye ya mutwalo gumu gwokka.
Okay, haya dada wangu Hana, unajionaje?
Kweli mimi nadhani kama unataka kufanya shopping yako leo, manunuzi yako leo, lazima uende Owino. Maana tukiangalia hizi bei kwa kweli ni za juu, unless kama unataka kununua hiyo asali au nyama ya ng'ombe, kila kitu ni bei ya juu. Kama matoke yanauzwa 35,000, kuku wa kisasa anauzwa shilingi 13,000, kuku wa kienyeji anauzwa shilingi 30,000, mayai ya kisasa yanauzwa shilingi 10,000, mayai ya kienyeji yanauzwa shilingi 25,000. Kwa hiyo yani mpaka hapo unajua kwamba Owino ndio sehemu ya kwenda leo. Na bata mzinga anauzwa shilingi 85,000, samaki wa tilapia anauzwa shilingi 15,000, na asali iliyo processed inauzwa shilingi 12,000 ambayo ni bei ya chini kuliko zote, na nyama ya ng'ombe pia ni 10,000. Kwa hiyo kama unataka kununua nyama ya ng'ombe au hani inabidi uende na Kasera, lakini vitu vingine vyote bora uende Owino.
Haya, asante sana Hana. Hiyo market ni ya bei kali sana, bei kali sana.
Kweli kabisa.
We have Swahili in Studio A, but we do know it.
Yes, we do certainly do know it. So we try to give you a bird's eye view of all the necessary markets. We've taken you to Nakawa, we've taken you of course to Owino, we've taken you to Nakasero market, and we've of course taken you, I think today we didn't do Kalero market, but the best priced market in our opinion has been Nakawa market. So perhaps if you're around that area or you're planning about what you're going to buy for the week, that's a place to go to today, and make sure that you're able to get that bunch of matoke at its lowest this week at 25,000 Uganda shillings.
And you know matoke is the best for most of the meals we have here, so you find that you have to buy it a lot. So really, you want to cut all the costs on the base of your meal.
That is certainly true.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going for a quick commercial break. Hannah Mbago still remains in Studio B here in Naguru. Anthea Bembe is in Studio A here in Naguru as well. Remember, we do have our studios in Chikuwa as well. That's where our breakfast show and our afternoon shows are based. You're tuned into Smart 24 Television. We believe in finance. We believe in business. We believe in ensuring that you, as a viewer, are able to kuiya, like they say, make kutinkanya. That's right. Make tetinkanya. Yes, and that means make that money. Be that hustler. Make that money, and that's why we're here. We're going to teach you how to make big bucks. We're going to be right back. tuned to Smart 24 Television, where, of course, we believe in smart business. The show is called Smart Business, mid-morning show, 10 to around about 12:30 every single morning. Hosted by me, Jane Kasumba, accompanied by Anthea Bembe, and, of course, Hannah Mbago. We have huge studios in Uganda, 3 in Nakuru. We have a Studio A, a Studio B, and a Studio C. Hannah happens to be in our Studio B this morning. And of course, we've had a fantastic show. We're having a fantastic show. And of course, in Chikuwa, we have also a state-of-the-art studio, and that's where our morning show and of course our afternoon shows are based, right in the CBD of Kampala, right in the heart of the business people. You know, people are calling the station Yamusubuzi.
Yes, Tuli Baba Subuzi.
Tuli Baba Subuzi.
We're here for the traders. We're here for the ones who don't want the chit chat and the end. We want to enrich you and improve you.
Hannah, we were saying that in Uganda, Smart 24 Television is now called TV Abasubuzi. That means television for the biashara. How do you say it in Swahili?
Station ya biashara.
Station ya biashara.
Right,
yes, we were. High five. We were right, certainly. A station ya biashara. So it's for those of you who want to know Smart 24. When you meet us, when you meet me, when you meet Anthea, or when you meet Hannah, you say, "Hey, wanababu station ya basuzi." Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're speaking Swahili, you say Jambo. Nyinyi wa station ya biashara. Si ndio, Hannah?
Kabisa, hujakosea.
I wish I can speak.
On that note, of course, we have to go for our business profile, and today we're profiling a lady who really needs no introduction. She's called Indra Nooyi, an Indian-American business executive serving as the chairperson of PepsiCo. She's just retired just recently, and her world net revenue apparently is over $29.8 million. Well, this is her story. We're going to be right back and analyze the life of Indra Nooyi.
The PepsiCo CEO, Indra Nooyi, stepped down after a 24-year career with the company. Born in India, the 62-year-old was one of a handful of people of color to run a Fortune 500 company. During her 12-year tenure as a chief executive, Nooyi transformed PepsiCo into one of the most successful food and beverages companies worldwide. Her push for a healthier snack and beverages choices, along with an eye for product packaging, led to an 80% sales growth in the 12 years she was CEO. Nooyi will remain as chairwoman of the board of directors until early 2019. As Nooyi readies for her next phase, here are her traits and habits that she used to help steer her career. Imagine you're the president. As a child in India, Nooyi and her sister were asked to play an unusual game. Each night at dinner, their mother asked her daughters to imagine what they'd do if they were the president or the prime minister. By the end of dinner, the girls presented a speech and their mother had to decide which speech won her vote. Develop a niche skill. Find a specific talent or skill that has served you well and hone it. Nooyi says, when issues arise, Nooyi said, you want people to automatically think of you as the sole person who can solve a said problem. As CEO of Pepsi-Cola, she made a tough decision to overhaul the PepsiCo's IT system. To understand which technologies and what was needed, she read 10 textbooks cover to cover over her holiday and had professors on call to answer her question. This helped her to make a more informed and clear solution to the technology problem at PepsiCo. Think like a customer. As CEO, Nooyi oversaw more than 26,000 employees globally, including more than 100 brands and trademarks. Yet during her first years at the helm, Nooyi made visiting grocery stores a weekly priority so she could see how PepsiCo product looked on shelves. She would take photos of the product's packaging and placement and send critiques to her design and marketing teams. Surprise with gratitude. Shortly after her promotion to CEO, Nooyi visited India to see her mother. During her stay, visitors congratulated Nooyi's mother on the CEO's success. It soon dawned on her that the parents of great workers rarely get recognition for the person they helped to raise. After the trip, Nui wrote more than 400 letters to parents of her senior staff, being grateful for raising them. They say they were honored, she recalled. Be strong. Nui was anxious when she made the transition from CFO to CEO. Though she developed a well-researched plan, that did not squash her worries. There was a lot of anxiety when she took over. Still, she put her concerns aside to put forth her vision and get buy-in. To the company, I had to project confidence, optimism, and a can-do spirit and a must-do resolve. Her charge for healthier food choices, for instance, initially received some pushback from investors, but Nui stayed resolute in her strategy for the company. PepsiCo's revenue now comes from healthier snacks and drink products, and from up to 34% in 2006. Her last words: Nui reflects that the 12 years is a long time to hold a CEO position, and says that although I have a lot of fuel left in my tank, I want to do something different and spend more time with my family. And here's her closing takeaway. Think hard about time. We have so little of it on this earth. Make most of your days and make space for the loved ones who matter the most. I have been blessed with an amazing career, but if I'm being honest, there are moments I wish I'd spent more time with my children and family. So I encourage you, be mindful of your choices on the road ahead.
Well, there you have it, the story of, very impressive story of Indra Nui. In 2016, her salary was $28.9 million, and of course, being the CEO of PepsiCo and being called one of the most effective and influential and one of the best CEOs in PepsiCo's history. And if I can bring you in the world as general, yeah. Just take us through her bio and what do you think you picked from it?
Honestly, I've loved Indra Nui ever since 2008 when I found out about her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very impressed by women in power, and I think it took a lot of skill for her, being two minorities, if I might, Indian and then a lady and a mom. I think it took a lot of strength for her to execute this huge task, which at times men might also find challenging. Not that there's any difference, but they have much less responsibilities away from home. I'm very impressed by her mantra. Her mantra is always to research, do a lot of research. She emphasizes that when PepsiCo needed to change up its IT system, and she was facing a lot of backlash from her board and the
shareholding.
She on her leave, you get a leave every working year. On her leave, she took 10 textbooks about technology. At that time, it was revolutionizing. She took 10 textbooks and read them with a professor on call to advise her. So she used her stronghold in research to back up her proposal that PepsiCo uses technology much more, and indeed it brought up more than 80% in profit.
Revenue, an increase in revenue. Very impressive indeed, and of course, Indra Nui, one of the best CEOs ever for PepsiCo and most influential in the world. If I can bring in Hannah Mbago here. Hannah, I know we have profiled in our business profile this morning, like you've seen, this afternoon, like you've seen, Indra Nui, very impressive indeed. What did you take away from her bio?
Well, I am very, very impressed and inspired and awed and just motivated by her because she has accomplished so much. She managed to raise the company's profits from 2.7 billion to 6.5 billion. That's almost 3 times the amount that they were making before. And she was acclaimed by Forbes from 2008 all the way to 2017 as one of the world's 100 most powerful women, which is such a big deal to be acclaimed by Forbes in that way and to make such achievements. And she's not just a businesswoman, she's also a philanthropist. She's done so much, I'm just so inspired by her.
Okay,
Yeah.
now Hannah, you know we always try to analyze and bring it back to the Ugandan situation because Smart 24 television is not just a Ugandan station, but it's predominantly an African and Pan-African station pushing the African agenda. So let us do an analysis with perhaps a Ugandan CEO, and I think we can take a look at, of course, our Executive Director of Uganda National Roads Authority, that is Alan Kagina. Alan Kagina, of course, a trailblazer in her own right, headed Uganda Revenue Authority before that, and now heading UNRWA. Hannah, if I can bring you in here, women taking the driver's seat when it comes to corporate business.
Yes, thank you, Jane. It is quite a new thing. Well, not such a new thing, but it is a developing thing to see that more and more women are taking more and more positions of power and just inspiring our young girls that they can really be whatever they want to be, whatever they choose to be. If they work hard at it, why not be a CEO? Why not be someone like Alan Kagina or Indra Nui? It's possible. Just seeing them make it is proof that it is possible to aspiring women who want to hold positions such as them.
Anthea, thank you, Hannah. Anthea, if I can bring you in here, give us 5 pointers of what someone can do, perhaps a person who's watching this program, might be a young man, might be a young woman. How can you become an effective CEO? What can people take away from the story of Indra Nui? You know, on Smart 24, we don't just give you a story. We give you the story behind the story. The moral behind the story. So most importantly, 5 things that you can take away from the Indra Nui story.
Well, I'm going to give you her 5 words, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, 5 pointers. The most important thing is like, have a clear vision. If you envision something, a projection, a plan, where you want your business to be in 5
Yeah.
years, that should be exactly it. Now, how do you work towards it?
Yes.
Set a plan and follow through it. The second one, she says, focus on the short-term and the long-term goals, because most times when you make short-term goals, we affect the long-term goals, because the short-term goals may be effective now but not sustainable in the long run.
Yes.
And most times when we make long-term projections, we affect the short-term goals because we ignore the immediate problems.
All right.
So have short-term goals.
So 2 pointers so far we've picked up. We've had vision, and also we've had short-term goals.
Short-term and long-term goals vis-a-vis.
Vis-a-vis, yes. And I know, Hannah, you're keeping track of that, so just keep track for us for those ones, for our viewers. Vision, number 1, and number 2, short-term goals.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jane, I am.
All right.
And then the third one is bring people with you. She
Okay.
emphasizes the importance of teamwork. I mean, she ran a company for 24 years actually. She had been the CFO, and then for 12 years she was the CFO. For 12 years she was the CEO. And in those 12 years, she employed over 26,000 people.
Amazing.
So she has a niche with teamwork. Surely
So
if
you bring people with you, you make your own teams,
Yeah.
and you carry your teams with you.
and
So
then-
Hannah, you've got it. We've got 3 so far. We've got the first one, which is have a vision. The second one, Hannah, was
Make short-term goals.
make short-term goals, and thirdly, build a team and take the team with you.
And then the fourth one is be a good listener. Particularly, Jen, I'm going to tell you a very short story about Indra. She would go every week as CEO of Pepsi Cola, with over 100 products, yeah, PepsiCo, sorry. She would go into the grocery stores, local grocery stores, and imagine a big CEO like herself, and take pictures for her employees and tell them what she likes and what she doesn't like about the packaging. So she would listen. She's very keen on the consumer because she believes we are all consumers. I might be the CEO, but at the end of the day, if I don't like how the product looks, then people are bound not to like it.
That's true. So be a keen listener. So Hannah, we've got those 4 pointers. The first one being?
Have a vision, make short-term goals, build a team and take the team with you, and be a good listener.
Be a good listener and go out onto, if you have a product, if you have a product that's on the shelves, go out there, find out what people think about it. Have a drink, take a drink. If it's a beverage, buy it and see how it's packaged. See what it tastes like when it gets to the supermarket.
Yeah.
And finally, Anthea.
And finally is be a lifelong student. As evidenced by the story I told you earlier, where she took 10 textbooks and read them cover to cover to be able to convince her board to shift into a better technology. She is clearly, and we should also be lifelong students, always learning something.
Always learning something. There's no shame in it.
There's no shame at all.
No shame in it
It's
whatsoever.
prestigious, in fact.
It is.
Yeah.
Keep learning. And so, Hannah, just take our viewers through the 5 most important things that we can take away from Andrew Nui.
Right. These tips are: number 1, have a vision. Secondly, make short-term goals. Thirdly, build a team and take the team with you. Fourth, be a good listener. And lastly, be a lifelong student.
Indeed, be a lifelong student. We have been featuring Andrew Nui. I think she's the first CEO for PepsiCo, female.
Yeah,
First female CEO for PepsiCo, and increasing revenues by 80%. Paid a salary of $29.8 million. That was as per 2016, and really leaving on her own terms. Yeah.
Philanthropy, motherhood, business.
And saying that the most important thing is family. We're going for a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back. Omotola Jalade. Yeah. The African. Thank you for staying tuned to Smart 24 Television, where we believe in smart business. The show is called Smart Business. We want you to be smart, get the latest prices in real time, so at the end of the day, you can make the necessary decisions that you need to make and ensure that you have a solid financial future. That's why we're here. Hannah Mbago is still in Studio B. Anthony Abembe is right next to me in Studio A. And of course, I just want to remind you about the squeeze box. Make sure that you have a pen and a paper, you're writing things down. And most importantly, perhaps you have an iPad or a social media gadget that you can use to record what it is that we're saying. And you know, today we're going to, of course, in our lifestyle segment, who are we profiling, Anthea?
Omotola Jalade, and a very beautiful, I might say, behind Hannah, if you look, a very beautiful Nigerian actress, wildly successful, with over 300 movies ever since 1995.
Okay, so her name is Omotola Jalade Ekinete. I think that's how the Nigerians pronounce it. Omotola Jalade Ekinete. Let's take a look at her profile and we'll be right back.
Is currently 38 years old. She attended Oxford Children's School. Omotola Jalade Ekende is a Nollywood actress, singer, model, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. She was born on the 17th of February in 1998 in Lagos, Nigeria. She is originally from Ondo State, Nigeria, but grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, and is currently 38 years old. She attended Oxford Children's School, Lagos, Chrisland Primary School, Lagos, and Command Secondary School, Kaduna. She attended Obafemi Owolu University, Yaba College of Technology, Lagos, and studied estate management. She joined the Nigerian movie industry, Nollywood, in 1995 and was one of the leading actresses in Nollywood at the time. She was introduced to acting by a friend. Her first acting role was in 1995 movie Venom of Justice, directed by Reginald Ember. She rose to fame after starring the blockbuster movie Mortal Inheritance, and the film is regarded as Nollywood's best movie. She has starred in several blockbuster movies including Games Women Play, Blood Sisters, All My Life, and Last Wedding, among so many others. She has appeared in over 300 films, which has sold millions of copies and video. She has appeared in over 300 films, selling millions of video copies worldwide. In 1997, the movie Mortal Inheritance gave her a prestigious award in the 1997 Thema Movie Awards. She won overall Best Actress in Nigeria. In 2005, she was awarded Best Actress in the Supporting Role during the African Movie Academy Awards. In 2005, she launched her music career with the release of her debut album GBA with single The Things You Do to Me. Omotola then became the United Nations World Food Programme Ambassador in 2005. In 2010, Omotola starred a blockbuster movie, EJ, and the film was shot in California, Los Angeles, in the United States of America. The movie was regarded the most expensive Nollywood film ever produced. In 2012, she acted in The Last Flight to Abuja. Omotola won over 40 local and international awards. She is considered as Africa's biggest box office actress. In 2013, she was honored in the Times Magazine list of 100 top most influential people in the world alongside Michelle Obama. On the 2nd November 2013, Omotola made her first appearance in Hollywood movie Hit the Floor. She is the first African celebrity to receive over 1 million likes on her Facebook page. She has 3 million followers on Facebook. In 2014, she was honored by the Nigerian government as a member of the Order of the Federal Republic. In 1996, she married Captain Matthew Ekende. They are blessed with 4 children. Princess, MJ, Mirara, and Michael. She has an NGO project called Omotola Youth Empowerment Program. She has campaigned for many amenities international. She is one of the richest and most influential actresses in Nigeria with an estimated net worth of $3 million.
Thank you for staying tuned to Smart 24 Television, where we believe in smart business. Well, you're tuned into smart business, and most importantly, we have been profiling an African actress called Omotola Jalade. Some of the clips that you saw in the profile were certainly of Omotola. They were a mix also with other Nigerian movie stars as well. But why we've profiled her is that Omotola Jalade is one of the most wealthiest African actresses, and there you have it. There you have her. She commands $1 million plus per movie, and she makes quite a few movies a year, almost like 5 to 6 movies a year, and that's Omotola Jalade. And I know we're going to bring in Hannah here, but before I get to Hannah, very quickly, I want to ask you, Anthea, what can Ugandan actresses take away from Omotola Jalade?
Well, I hate to break it like this, but because the beauty, the entertainment industry,
the aesthetics,
it's very based on the aesthetic. I'm quite impressed to find that she has 4 children and she's in tip-top shape. So I just want us as ladies to kind of, if after maybe having a kid, you make sure you snap back, because that's how she's managed to keep landing those roles she landed way back in 1995 before she had children, up to today.
And up to today. Hannah, if I can bring you in there, what other tips can be taken away from maybe by a young lady or a lady in Uganda who wants to become an actress and perhaps would like to command $1 million per movie? What can be taken away from Omotola Jalade's story?
Well, thanks, Jane. Personally, what I have taken away from her, just the fact that she's done over 300 movies, is that you need to stay dedicated to your craft, and you need to keep honing your craft and, you know, making yourself better, because doing 300 movies is no small task. A movie takes about 7 months to make, so over that time,
300. And not only that, you have to remember all the lines, and then you have to act, and then
it takes a lot of dedication.
A lot of dedication and time, and then you have to get into character. If it means you lose weight, put on weight.
Exactly, and
lots of
sometimes
preparation.
you might be acting with people who are not as experienced as you, so you could do a whole scene and then have to do it all over again and again and again. So it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of dedication, and it takes a lot of, you know, motivation, self-motivation, because she basically opened the West African industry and the African industry at large in terms of movies. You know, she pushed other people to making Hollywood movies. She was the first actress in Africa to get 1 million likes on her page. She's just the golden standard as far as African entertainment goes, Jane.
I like that, the word that you used to describe it, the golden standard. And at the end of the day, so for African, maybe for Ugandan women who'd like to pursue the acting role and perhaps make a million US dollars, command $1 million US dollars per movie, some of the tips that we have highlighted for you, I think Anthea said, it's important to snap back. To be as fit as possible to land the roles. She started in 1995 or before that, and she's had 4 children in that space of time, and she's still an A-lister, so that's number 1. Number 2, I think, Hannah, you brought up a point about Omotola being dedicated. You talked about the fact of being dedicated is pretty important, and also dedicated to making, I don't know, 7 movies plus a year. That's a lot of movies. On average, made over 300 movies. And of course, at the end of the day, I mean, just be tenacious. Yeah. I mean, focused. Make sure at the end of the day, without a doubt, you are on track. If you have, and I think Indra Nui talked about it, have a vision. Once you have a vision, stay on track towards that vision, so at the end of the day, you can complete it. So Hannah, just take us through the 3 pointers that people can take us through, that people can learn from Omotola Jalade this afternoon.
Right, like we said before, like you said, basically be tenacious and be dedicated and stay committed to your craft, because doing over 300 movies, really, it's quite a feat. It is, judging the amount of time that one movie takes to make, you know, some take up to 2 years to be finalized. Normal ones take maybe up to 7 months. So ranging from 7 months to 2 years, she's been working from 1995, and she has just stayed true to her craft. So there's so much that we can take away from Omotola.
And finally, Anthea, of course, Hannah talked about the fact that she's a gold standard in terms of African movies. And indeed, before, I think you remember in the past, the gold standard used to be Hollywood standard, but not anymore. With ladies like Omotola Jalade, they've broken that glass ceiling, and now the gold standard is now African. So people at home today, people who are watching, can actually state that I can be an African star, and that's good enough for me, right?
Yes, I think ladies like Omotola and Genevieve, these are household names, and they're
All over the world, actually. Yeah.
And they've turned Nollywood into something sensational. I think the Nigerian movie industry wouldn't be what it is without ladies like Omotola. So they've made their mark in history.
Made their mark in African history. We're going for a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back. We'll be profiling Ibra Sekaja after the break. Thank you for staying tuned to Smart 24 Television, where of course we believe in being smart, not just looking smart the way Anthea looks this afternoon, but ensuring at the end of the day that you're able to ensure that you have the necessary information that you need to make good financial decisions, make that budget, spend as little as possible, and invest wisely. And of course, right now on the lower third, you'll be able to see all the necessary prices, be it fuel, be it market prices, be it commodity prices, be it the USE rates as a trading stands at the Uganda Stock Exchange this afternoon. But most importantly, we also believe at Smart 24 that it's so important to be healthy, because we believe smart health converts into smart business. So you have to be healthy in order to become wealthy, or in order to become prosperous. Hannah Mbago is in Studio B. Hannah, just take us through back pain, because that's what we're featuring today.
Right, Jane. Back pain is a prevalent disease. Well, it's not a disease, but
it's a condition and ailment. Yeah.
But there are so many ways that you can, at home, prevent back pain and protect yourself accordingly. I will just get these for you right now.
And of course, what we're looking at right now is the lumbar disc injuries and treatment. So there you have it. The spine is the core of the back, and that's what is most important. That's what we're trying to protect. So most importantly, your spinal cord and spinal canal are very, very important. And the spinal cord is at the very center and the very back of your body. And most times, if that's the spinal cord is surrounded by spinal nerves, as you can see at this particular moment. And of course, the spinal nerves are very delicate. And what you can see now is the neuroforamen, and that passes right through the spine. And you're also looking at the lumbar spine. And most importantly, that's where you have the necessary back injuries happening. What do you know about back pain, Anthea?
Well, I know that most of back pain happens to people who, if you didn't fracture yourself in an accident, it's mainly because of your posture.
Yeah.
Most times you'll find that you're seated too long, you're standing probably too long, you're bending too long, so you kind of bend your spine, and you can see that the spine is very central to all the nerves in the system. It's central to a lot of your impulses, your feelings, that's the sensations, I mean, touch and everything. So you might not want to hurt your back at all, because one thing I know about back pain, I don't experience it, but I know people who experience it, and it's quite notorious. many a time you'll find that a painkiller doesn't relieve it. So
Yeah.
you'd rather not hurt your back at all. And
So it's wise to be gentle, as
be
gentle
very
as you
gentle on
possibly.
your spine, because you only get one spine actually. I mean, you can get a heart transplant, but you can't get a new spine. I haven't heard of that because there's so many nerves around it, and the neural system all flows through it.
Okay, so that's what you're seeing now is a sample of course, the backbone and the spinal cord, and we're also taking a look at, of course, yes, and it.
You see those discs they're showing on the screen.
Yes.
Sometimes when you dislocate your back, they shift. Sometimes when you're
It's very painful.
It's extremely painful. So when you're doing exercise, be very careful to use a treadmill that won't stop drastically, or you can hurt your discs like that. And also try to stay very safe. It's a tender.
It's a tender area. So most importantly, how to protect your back and prevent back pain. The first thing you can do is do back strengthening and stretching exercises for at least 2 or 3 times a week. Stand up and sit up straight at all times. Avoid heavy lifting. If you do lift something heavy, bend your knees and keep your back straight. Yeah, very important. If you do heavy lifting and you have to lift something heavy, bend your knees and keep your back straight. And most importantly, get active and eat a balanced diet. And I think you heard some of those tips, Hannah. Just tell us one tip that you do to protect your back.
Well, one tip that I have taken against back pain is I quit smoking. And you would be surprised. There are so many ways that smoking is detrimental to your back. So not only is it good for your lungs, but it's good for your general, well-being and health. Do try and do that if you are a smoker.
And most importantly, what about you, Anthony? What have you done to protect your back?
Well, I subscribe to a local gym, and this year I actually, in conjunction with my dad, we opened a gym at home where we can exercise very briefly. You don't need to do a lot, You don't need to turn into a bodybuilder. Just have enough exercise to keep your body in shape, just to break a sweat and know that you're active. That's what I do for my back.
And most importantly, this is a great tip that we got. Smart 24 always gets the best tips when it comes to health. If you're to go to a gym, please, unless you know what you're doing, get yourself a trainer. Because when you enter the gym, you see so many people going and lifting whatever and going hard, and they saw it on the movies, so they think they can do the same. Please get a trainer. Please get someone to take you through the basics so that you don't hurt your back. At Smart 24 and Smart Business, this show, we believe that smart health converts into smart business. So be healthy today and watch your back. We're going for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. staying tuned to Smart 24 Television. We believe in smart business, and of course, we're wrapping up the show. We're going to end with the sport profile and the net worth of the sport profile. And today we're going to do Sekaja, Ibrahim Sekaja. He has ploughed his trade at Kampala City Council, at Atletico de Rafael, at Ferrero Carril Oeste, at Arsenal de Sarandi, at Red Bull Salzburg, and of course at the New York Red Bulls. So this is his story. Ibrahim Sekaja will come back, of course, and ask and tell people what they can learn from
his senior career with Kampala City Council in 1992 before moving. Born in Kawempe, Kampala, as a boy, Sekaja started out his career playing on a bare-surfaced pitch at Kawempe, commonly known as Kataka, before joining State House and later local giants Kampala City Council FC or KCC FC. Sekaja started his senior career with Kampala City Council in 1992 before moving to Argentina in 1998 to make a career in football. His first Argentina club was Atletico de Rafaela in the Primera B Nacional. In 2002, he moved to Ferno Carril Oeste in the Primera B Metropolitana, subsequently helping the team to win the league and secure promotion in the Primera B Nacional. In 2005, he was signed by Arsenal de Sarandi of the Argentine Primera Division, where he spent 2 seasons. In June 2007, Sekaja signed a 3-year contract with Red Bull Salzburg, the then current champions of the Austrian Bundesliga. He made his Bundesliga debut on the 11th of July 2007 in Salzburg's 4-1 win against SC Rheindorf Altach, and scored his first league goal on the 22nd July 2007 to secure Salzburg a 2-2 away draw at FK Austria Wien. He quickly established himself as a regular with the club and finished his first season with 34 Bundesliga appearances to his name, scoring 3 goals in the league. In his 6 seasons at the club, Sekaja appeared in 165 league matches and scored 6 goals. During this time, he helped the club capture 3 Austrian Football Bundesliga titles and 1 Austrian Cup. On 11 July 2013, Sekaja joined MLS side New York Red Bulls on a free transfer, following his departure from sister club Red Bull Salzburg. On the 4th of August 2013, Sekaja made his debut New York. On 11 July 2013, Sekaja joined MLS side New York on a free transfer, following his departure from sister club Red Bull Salzburg. On 4th August 2013, Sekaja made his debut for New York, starting as a defensive midfielder in a 3-2 victory over Sporting Kansas City. On 27 October 2013, Sekaja scored a head goal in their 17-year history. However, Sekaja's giveaway led to an equalizer in Houston's 2-1 victory that knocked New York out of the 2013 MLS Cup playoffs. During the 2014 season, Sekaja became a regular starter for the New York, helping the club reach the MLS Cup playoffs.
As we part, of course, Ibrahim Sekaja really needs no introduction. A great star, football star for Uganda. As we part, those who are interested to follow in the path of Ibrahim Sekaja, who's valued at over $800,000. Hannah, what can we take away from Ibrahim Sekaja, you think?
I think there's a lot that we can take away from Ibrahim Sekaja. He is quite the football player. He is considered to be, the best Ugandan football player that ever was. I recently was told by a friend of mine that people had wanted him to come back and play for the Cranes once they had qualified for AFCON. But as we know, he is retired, which is such a shame because he is such a great football player and an inspiration to all of us, especially young boys who want to become the same.
Okay, valued at over $800,000, Anthea, that's not bad money in anybody's language.
And that's not bad money at all. And Ibrahim is one person who was in position to actually amass a greater deal of wealth, but then he came back home, and I think what I can pick from him is his spirit of nationalism.
Yeah, and I think he started also some footballing academies for younger people.
Yes.
So
That's
a
social
job.
entrepreneurship.
Yes,
So
social
investing in
entrepreneurship,
young
yeah.
boys who want to do football, so I think that's valued.
job well done. Well, we have to part, but before we go, Anthea, you're going to give us perhaps a quote or a fact of the day, right?
I'm going to give you a fact of the day, a business fact, of course.
Yeah.
I'll be bringing you one each day, probably. If I do banking today, investment tomorrow,
Yeah.
insurance the next day.
So that's a business fact. Take us through it.
The first banking institutions in northern Italy were actually temples, and banks could take Parmesan cheese as security because it takes 2 to 3 years to ripen. So 2 to 3 years is the payback time for loans in northern Italy.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Very
It's very
interesting.
interesting that somebody can take a foodstuff
Yeah.
and expect you to take back their money. I mean, I don't know how faithful
Ah. So we'll be looking forward to those business facts. A special thank you to Anthea for that. But Hannah, your parting shots for the show today.
Well, I'd just like to give you my heartfelt thank you from all of us here in Studio B. It's a pleasure, really, working with you, and I would like to thank the viewers as well for tuning in. As I say every day, do tune in once again throughout the show. We're here Monday to Friday. At the same time, we have so much prepared for you, especially tomorrow. We have quite a lot to say about plastic surgery, so do make sure you tune in. But until then, do have a nice, good day. Be safe and be smart.
And Anthea, over to you.
Well, I agree with everything Hannah has said. We're very excited to talk about plastic surgery. And thank you for staying with us. Thank you to our producers and our whole team. It's a pleasure working with you always. And please be smart. Take from the words of Indra Nui, the 5 points we gave you. Take from the inspiration that Ibrahim and Omotola leave with us. And I think you will be very successful if you do so.
So, and of course, thank you very much, Anthea. Thank you very much, Hannah. But most importantly, we always give you those smart business tips. Remember, the first tip we gave you was smart health equals smart business. And secondly, from Indra Nui, she said, have a vision. After a vision, short-term goals. After those short-term goals, be tenacious and follow through. And of course, fourthly, she also talked about the fact that family is always important. And fifthly, she talked about if you have a product or a beverage that's on the market, make sure it's as good as what you want to buy. So those are the pretty much the tips that we've learned on this show. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Smart 24 Television. On behalf of Hannah Bago in Studio B here in Naguru, and on behalf of Anthea Bembe in Studio A, I can't leave without, of course, thanking our producer, Isaac. He's done a fantastic job. And of course, we've also had so many gentlemen and ladies behind the scenes who've ensured that you're able to have this kind of local production on this channel. A special thank you to Abby and so many others who've made smart business what it's supposed to be, very smart indeed. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. And remember, Terakaya is on with the Uganda news after the break.